What is up, people? How are we all doing? Today, we're talking about the flat Earth cosmology. So let's jump straight into this. Please drop a follow and leave a like to help the algorithm. So we live in a torus field. Everything's made out of torus fields, and every torus field has motion. It's what it is. It's the motion of energy. And every torus field has a center, which is the black hole. It's a womb of creation. It's counter space. Now, this is why the North Pole is magnetic, because the center of this torus field is the most magnetic part, the strongest part of the field. So this is why all compasses will point you to the center. And the Earth's magnetic field is spread across the whole of the Earth. And it's spinning, as you can see here, it's like a tornado at the center. And this tornado is the force which is spinning the sun and the moon around us. You got the sun, the moon, Polaris, just like in the Masonic cosmos here. The sun, the moon, Polaris, the all-seeing eye. Now we'll get into Polaris a bit later, but the sun is the magnetic force. Sorry, is the electric force, because every field is electromagnetic. Now, the sun is electric. It's positively charged. It's gonna give you energy. It's feeding energy. The moon is more magnetic energy, which is taking your energy away from you. And this is why you become sleepy when the moon comes out, because it's taking away your energy. So these two forces is the balance. It's the yin and yang. It's the balance. Everything in this creation is balanced, because the torus field is the Earth is the plane of inertia, the 0 point within the field, because physical matter is a result of two opposing forces equalized on the plane of inertia. And that is where matter crystallizes into physical results. And this physical plane is the plane of inertia, planet Earth. And at the center of this plane is the black hole, the womb of creation. And outside of this black hole gives birth to light. So the torus field is constantly rotating, going into counter space, the black hole, and then out of counter space gives birth to the white hole, white light. You see? So it's going around, black hole, birth again, black hole, birth again. And it just keeps going around. It's an infinite cycle of energy. And this is where the infinity sign comes from. This is the motion, this is the force which is creating everything to spin inside of this circle. Okay? And it's making the stars spin. It's making the sun and moon spin around us, around this center point. Now here you see Horus and Set. Horus and Set putting their feet inside of this dome. This is the royal arch, the arch of the dome above us, which is like you see in the Masonic cosmos, the royal arch of Freemasonry. This is the dome above us, the firmament that the Bible talks about. You see, they're putting their feet in because Set symbolizes the moon and Horus is the sun. Horizon, Horus. Horus is rising, the sun. So they're both putting their feet around the center magnetic pole, which is the pole, North Pole. And above the North Pole, you have Polaris, the pole of electromagnetic energy. You see? And this is how we get the sun and the seasons. Because the sun, for us, when it becomes summer, it's on the Tropic of Cancer. Then it spirals outwards, going out and out and out, then goes to the Tropic of Capricorn. That's winter for us. Then it comes back in and creates summer again. So it's constantly spiraling around this center magnetic North Pole. You see? So this roof above our heads is the firmament, and this is what they've taken off of us. They haven't physically taken it, but mentally they have taken this away from you. It's a female energy, and this is what the Egyptians called Nut, the sky god Nut. And this is the womb. We are inside God's creation, God's womb, and the woman's womb when she has a baby is a microcosm of this, because everything inside of this creation is macro. It's a reflection of the bigger things, as above, so below. So the dome above our heads is the dome we are in when we are a baby. And you can see the sacred geometry of it is the exact same. It's the dome. And when we are inside of the womb, the woman, the sacred maker, which is the M, the Masonic M, this is the G male symbol. The Masonic M is maker, mason, matter, male. She delivers the male, you see? She delivers the male because it's the maker, the female, the magnetic. The woman is magnetic in nature, the male is electric in nature. So when we are in this womb, the female, we are being fed by the center umbilical cord, by the center of the mother's stomach. We're connected to the center of the woman's stomach, just like we are when we are in the earth. The center is where the aurora borealis is being emitted from, the electromagnetic aurora borealis, the northern lights. This is our spiritual umbilical cord connecting us to counter space, connecting us to the realms beyond this world. Because at the center of every torus field is counter space. And at the center of the earth is our spiritual umbilical cord. And this is the earth's belly button, as you see. As above, so below. We had a physical umbilical cord. We have a spiritual umbilical cord. And this gets cut when we die, when we're cut away from the physical reality. You see, here's the ancient Egyptian tablet showing this female. You can see the hair, it's a female above us because the female energy is nurturing, helping, looking after. And that's exactly what the dome is. It's protecting us. It's the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark covering us, you see? And this is what they've taken away from us. By you believing in space, it completely destroys the idea of this being a sacred creation. They've taken the roof off your head, whether if you believe in space, you believe that there's chaos, there's planets, there's asteroids about that could kill us at any moment. But this isn't true. They've made you fear your own creation that you're inside of. They've made you fear what's above you. You see, and it's to hide the power of astrology, the power of the lights in the firmament, which are constantly flowing through the ether. These powers which are above us are sending rays down to the earth, which are influencing our psychology and how we behave. And this is what astrology is. It affects human consciousness. It interacts with our consciousness. And there's a different energy every day because the planets are in different houses, different alignments. And this is, we'll go into this a bit deeper later on. So the world tree, this magnetic north pole, the pole of electromagnetic energy, was symbolized as a tree, the great tree at the center of the earth. You see? And this tree is symbolized everywhere. You can see here how the center person, this Egyptian person, is holding up the sky. This is the North Pole, the hyperboloid, at the center of every torus field. And this tree was in the Mayan cosmology. This is an ancient depiction. This is the torus field. There's the plane of inertia. Here's the center tree. Here's the tree in the center, the magnetic North Pole, the woman holding the stars. Here's the Hindu with the two birds symbolizing the sun and the moon revolving around this center tree. The Mayan tree, his Horus and Set around the North Pole. They all knew this flat Earth cosmology. They knew these secrets. It's so sacred you understand the creation that you're inside of. Because if you don't, you'll be led astray. You don't know where you are. You're lost. You see? And here's the Masonic art with the rays of the stars coming down with the tree in the center. So it was personified as a tree. And we are in Asgard, Midgard, the middle garden, where there's good and evil. So the 7 layers of heaven, which is talked about in the Quran. Each planet has a different layer of the firmament, and this is the 7 layers of heaven, and these are our 7 layers of the energy centers in our body. So we start in the stars, so we are stars in a physical body. This is why we say Mr., Sister, Fraudster, Sinister. Stir is star, and we are in the stars, and our star descends into the soul system, not solar system. And as we descend into the soul system, We enter Satan's kingdom, Satan's world. As it says in the Bible, Satan is the God of this world. Well, if you've been into my research for a while, you know Satan is Saturn. Saturn's world, because Saturn's the outermost ring. He's the Lord of the rings. And you enter his kingdom, the kingdom of time. And this is why Saturn's the time god. As soon as you go past the rings of Saturn, you're now in the solar system. You're now in time. You're now bound by space and time. And you're bound to the earth plane, the heart. Earth is heart. It's a rearrangement, it's an anagram for heart. And the heart of the electromagnetic color spectrum is green, and that's why the earth is green. And above green is blue, and this is why the sky is blue. In order to go to heaven on the macro scale, you have to go through the blue sky, through the 7 layers of heaven. In order to reach heaven in your body, whilst you're here, you have to go through the blue chakra to your head, which is heaven. It's micro, macro. Everything is micro, macro inside of this creation. It's an ancient. I think this is a French image, piece of art from the ancient French, with obviously the 7 layers of heaven, which they all depict. And notice how it's like a dome. We'll go into this dome symbolization, the Royal Arch of Masonry, which is next. But these 7 layers of heaven give us the 7 metals, the 7 days of the week, the 7 diatonic tones, the 7 chakras, the 7 everything. It's God's favorite number. And this is why the Masons use the G inside of the compass, because the G is the 7th letter and God starts with G. You see? So it's 7. God is 7. Here's another depiction of the heart, the soul system, the 7 layers of heaven. La fermente, la fermette. You see, la firmament, with the stars on the outermost layer. Here are the 7 planets: Jupiter, Mars, la Sophie, the sun, la Luna, the moon. So Saturn. So we are in the heart of this soul system. In order to ascend, we need to ascend up our chakra system, reach 144,000 hertz, God consciousness, the God man. You have to unfold God man, master of the mind, mastery of the mind. So what are the stars? The stars make everything unique. The stars are constantly rotating around the center, magnetic North Pole, the tornado at the center, which is stirring everything. It's stirring the ether. The center is the ether, and the 4 elements are born out of this ether. There's 5 elements: ether, spirit, water, air, and earth. The ether gives birth to the 4 other physical elements, which the whole of creation are made out of. About them 4 elements. 4 is the number of stability. You know, a chair, a table has 4 legs. It stables things. It's a foundation, and these 4 elements are the foundation of this creation. You see, and this magnetic North Pole is stirring this, and the 4 vibrational states of the ether are the 4 elements. Now let me get back to the stars. I just wanted to give you that. The stars are being stirred around this center point, center. It's stirring everything, and they're always in different alignments. Every millisecond, they're moving in different placements of the stars. And the planets are called the 7 wanderers because they're not fixed. The stars are fixed, but the planets they're called the 7 wanderers, the 7 layers of heaven, because they move faster and slower than each other. Each planet is slower and faster, has a different rate of speed it's moving. So these alignments are mixing in with the energies of the different 12 constellations. And this is why you have a unique characteristic. You have a unique look, a unique energy, a unique personality. This is because when you were born and you took your first breath, that energy which was in the ether, because the ether is all around you, and energy travels through the ether. The energy that the stars were casting down and the energy that the planets was mixing in with the 12 constellations was in the ether. So when you came out of the womb and your first breath, because breath is spirit, okay? So that first breath you took, that is the energy that is imprinted within your DNA, your soul. And you reflect that energy, you emit that energy. That's the energy that is with you forever. until you die, until this physical body dies off. And that's what the stars are. The stars are giving a unique energy, characteristic, personality to every living thing. Every dog, every cat, every animal has a unique personality because it was born at a different time and place in the sky. Okay, the stars are your destiny. Now, the stars are constantly changing as well. If you look at stars through a telescope, they're constantly changing and forming different forms. You can see here, it looks like water. It looks like light through water because it's the ether above us, a sea of ether. And this light is being emitted through it, and it's just constantly changing, giving different energies, each star. So this is why this is what the zodiac is. It's the expression of energy. It's the expression of the stars. And each constellation has many different personality, different energies, different traits. Each planet has different traits, depending where your planets are, depending what energies you hold. No same person, no two-person have the same energy. There's no one. It could be similar, but no one's the exact same. It's because of the stars. The stars are never in the exact same split place. The planets are always in different houses. So here's some Royal Arch symbolism. Here's the Royal Arch of Masonry, as it says here. The sun and the moon, the constellations. Here's Cancer, the 7 planets, the 7 stars. Here's the Royal Arch. This is the firmament. Here's the duality. Black and white, duality, good and evil, rest and motion, dielectricity, magnetism. See? So this is what the Royal Arch is. It's symbolizing the cosmic dome above us. The womb we're in. We're inside God's womb. And here's George Washington, the Freemason, inside of the Royal Arch. You see? With the G, the Masonic G, God, 7. Here you see another depiction of George Washington with the stars in the dome above his head, his Polaris, the sky vault, Polaris. We'll get into that later. Go inside of all of your ancient churches, you will see the dome. Go to the Vatican, you'll see the dome. All of your ancient churches have this dome because it's the dome above your head. The ancients knew this. This was known. We did not live in space. It was known back then. They all knew. This is Crown Court, which is one of the most important courts in the UK. You can see it's clearly so much Masonic symbolism. You've got the 4 pillars of Masonry. The Royal Arch is like an arrow pointing upwards to Polaris. His Disney World is under a dome. In his Polaris, the sky vault. You see? And also 666 in the symbol. There's more 7 layers of heaven. Here's an ancient depiction. The firmament. Here's the astral plane outside of the firmament. The Royal Arch. You see? It's everywhere. Here's Polaris, the 8-pointed star. Polaris is in between the sun and the moon. It's at the center of the Taurus field. And Polaris corresponds with the pineal gland as well because it's the all-seeing eye. See? So is Polaris, the 8-pointed star, which is at the very top. It's the very center. It's on top of the North Pole. And it's an 8-pointed star that's always symbolized as an 8-pointed star. Here you see the Vatican. The Vatican is a giant key with an 8-pointed star. See, it's a key. Here's the dome. Here's the Space Delta, the USA Space Delta logos. Here you see the Egyptian god looking from the center of the North Pole, looking upward to an 8-pointed star, Polaris. An arrow pointing up to Polaris. Here's another, the bear holding a key with an arrow up to Polaris, 7. Holds the key to Polaris. Here's an eagle holding a key above the North Pole to Polaris. Polaris, and here's another one. There's another bird, like a dragon, holding a key to Polaris. Because Polaris is definitely something to do with leaving this creation. Okay, maybe, I can't say for sure, but maybe it's to do with ascension, and this is why the Vatican hold the key to the 8-pointed star. And this is why the space, well, we all know space is a lie, but they're showing Polaris. and it's sacred symbology. Maybe it's to do with something leaving this creation, going to another. Here's some North Pole symbolism. As above, so below. You see the four seasons of the Big Dipper constellation going around Polaris. This is Polaris, this is the Big Dipper constellation, and this is the swastika. This image gives us the swastika because all the symbols we use are created in nature. They're created somehow in nature. This is how we get them. As above, so below. This is the map of the North Pole with the four rivers looking like the Big Dipper constellation. It's the Masonic, here's the ancient cosmology with the four, you see the four islands, Mayan cosmology, four islands. This is the alchemical symbol for Earth, four sections. The windows, because the center of the North Pole is a window to another dimension. The four lucky four-leaf clover, which is supposed to be lucky. It's just it's truth in plain sight. And here's Hitler looking at two flat Earth maps. So this swastika has been used for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years, and it's symbolic for the most sacred land on this plane, the North Pole. Shambhala. Do some research on Shambhala, people. It's a it's a Hindu mythology about the sacred lands at the center of the earth, and it's known to be full of enlightened beings. And it's all symbolized at the center. You can see their paintings of Shambhala. It's all at the center, the North Pole. And it's known to be the most godly place ever because it takes you to a portal to the higher places. And maybe this is something to do with Polaris, connecting you to this sacred land at the very center. But anyways, people, thank you all for tapping in. Hope you all learned something. Have an amazing day. Please follow, subscribe, like, all the links in the description for the courses, the PDF. Please have an amazing day. God bless.